living in New York was a dream for me. I grew up in the suburbs of Detroit, so there was never ever anything going on, anything exciting. I remember I started community college in the suburbs of Detroit, and I was like, man, I gotta go to New York. That just seems like an amazing place. Big buildings, shiny lights. So it was always like something I've wanted to do. And I moved to Chicago before I moved to New York. I lived in New York for a year, but I was in Chicago for a couple of years before that. And I can tell you, as awesome as Chicago is, there is just like a huge difference between Chicago and New York, right? And in this video, I want to go over some of the pros and cons. What are some of the things that you're going to get from going to New York? And what are some of the things that you're going to have to give up? Because you're going to have to give up a lot of things. So in this video, I want to go over the cons and pros so you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. Let's start with the pros, the beautiful things about New York. And one of the best things about New York is that racism is just not that high compared to other places. Like I grew up in the suburbs of Detroit, and every time I ran into like an older person, oh man, they treated me like a complete alien. For example, when I was younger, I would go over my white friend's house, right? And their mom would treat me like it would make my race an issue. It would be like an elephant in the room. They'd be like, "Yo, so you're from Iraq? Yeah, so Saddam was your president? Yeah." And I'm just like 12-year-old kid, 6th grade or something like that. I don't know how old that is. But I was like a kid and they're asking me, "How are things in Iraq? Were they good?" I'm like, and it just happened so many times where like people in suburbs of Detroit, they just make your race an issue. It's like, yo, I'm just a kid. Treat me like a regular person. Treat me like you would treat another white kid, you know? And this didn't come up in New York because there's so many different races there, right? Race is just not that big of a deal in New York. Like people have been exposed to all kinds of races. Even if a person is white, they've been exposed to so many different kinds of people that they just don't make it the elephant in the room. They don't treat you like an alien. So that's the first thing. The second beautiful thing about New York is that you're never gonna run out of things to do. Like the first month you get there, you're like, okay, I gotta go to Battery Park, I gotta go to Central Park, I gotta go to Washington Square Park, and just like there's so many places to go. You don't know. You're just like, oh my god, which one am I gonna go to today? Oh, you're so excited about going to these places and seeing them, and and it's also that you go to these places. You go to Washington Square Park, and you're like, the next day you're like, okay, should I go check out uh, Battery Park or should I just like go to Washington Square Park again because it's you had a good time there. It's like especially if it's the summertime, everybody's chilling. You see all kinds of weird stuff in the park. You get all these stories only from sitting on the bench. Like you're gonna get some stories, and then there's things to do there on top of that. So you're gonna get so many stories, and you're gonna have so many things to do in New York. You're never gonna run out of things. Like even after the first month, second month, I was there for like almost 12 months, and I have not scratched the surface of things to do in New York. There's just too many things to do in the Big Apple. The third awesome thing about New York is that you're exposed to so many cultures. Like there's these neighborhoods of like each neighborhood has a certain culture, right? Italian, Russian, and they're all jam-packed into this square. So what happened is there's these little shops where you go in, you go to like a Egyptian shop, for example, and you go in the store and you're like, wait a minute, am I am I am I in Egypt right now? Did somebody teleport me or something like that? Where am I? Wait a minute. I'm not in. Then you go outside and you're like, phew, no, I'm still in America, phew, right? Because you didn't have your. For me, it was like I'd panic if I didn't have my. If I traveled without my lucky shirt, I need my lucky shirt. Not this one. I'm not wearing it right now. But anyways, I have to travel with my lucky shirt. Anyways, what am I saying? Anyways, there's these shops that just take you to. It's like they take you to a different place. It can be an Indian store, it can be a Lebanese store, and it's not just shops. It's also small neighborhoods. Like you would just walk down the street, right, and you notice like a business with like a very small sign, and you go in, and it's like, whoa, this is like a Vietnamese restaurant. Holy crap! And it's like so good, like it's so authentic. It just, most of the time they don't speak English, and you just get the best food, authentic food in those places. They're not downtown. You have to go to the other towns in New York, but they're close by. They're like 15 minutes away in Astoria or some other neighborhood, and you just exposed to all this culture instantly without having to go to Greece, without having to go to Vietnam. They're all just there, and that's so amazing. That's one of the most beautiful things about New York, I think. Like walking into those shops where the people don't even speak English, and you just like, wow, you're you're in shock. Like this exists here. This is so awesome. Oh my god. Like it's an instant fun story to tell people, and it's an amazing experience. It's so fun, especially if you try the new stuff. It's like you're trying new stuff in New York, you're seeing new places, and then you're getting to try this super awesome thing. Like if you like the time I walked into the Vietnamese restaurant, I remember that I was so like surprised. Like it was such a pleasant surprise. I was just walking by and I saw the store and I walked in, and I could have never had that experience anywhere else. There's like almost no chance you're having that experience in Michigan or Indiana. You know what I mean? So that's another amazing, one of the best things about New York, I think. The fourth best thing about New York is that you never have to worry about having a car. You never have to drive again. You never have to clean your car. You never have to clean your car from the snow. You never have to pay for car insurance, because the subway system is, it's amazing. Sure, there are flaws, but you can go anywhere you want with the subway system. It's very efficient. It's fast. You get different experiences too. Like sometimes you see some weirdos coming in doing all kinds of stuff. If you're lucky, you get to experience like a public breakup. One day you're just bored, you're going home, and all of a sudden you get this TV show right in front of you. Everybody's watching. They're like these two crazy people breaking up in the middle. I mean, I enjoy it, but dang, I feel for them. It's like this has to be an embarrassing situation for one of the parties. One of them is like thinking back right now, man, I can't believe I experienced this. What a cringe moment. I can't believe she did it to me, or he did that to me. That's how I would feel. But that's another thing that's amazing about New York is the subway system. You can go literally anywhere outside the city. It's not like Chicago, where it's like you can only rely on public transportations in the downtown area. If you're outside the city, it's less efficient. You gotta wait and stuff like that. In New York, it's not like that. It's available, and it's safe. Like when I first got to New York, I was thinking, man, I can't go to the subway system, especially at night, because it's I heard some stories. So I tested it out. I'm like, okay, today I'm out. It's 12 a.m. Can I go to the subway? Let's go check it out. Maybe it's safe. Let's go check it out. So I go down, go down the stairs, and I go in, and there's regular people. I'm like, oh, there's normal people. There's not like crazy people here. Seems safe. I'll wait. I won't take the Uber today. And then I tried that again at 2 a.m. On the weekends, it's safe anytime. Another advantage you get from living in New York is you get to take advantage of the amazing dating life. There are just so many places to go out and meet. You don't have to rely on online dating. There's bars, there's clubs, there's so many things to do, other social events, even if you're not into bars and clubs. And there's just so many people that are single in New York. So you get to date a lot. Like that's one of the main advantages of New York. I think that's why a lot of young people are so attracted to New York, and that's one of the main things that made me attracted to New York. Like there's a lot of people that are single, and there's so many things to do that you just keep meeting people. Now there is a disadvantage to that, which I'm going to mention in the cons right now. So you probably wonder right now, Evan, if it's so great, then why did you leave New York? Why did you leave before the coronavirus? There are some cons to living in New York that I couldn't take anymore. Like one of them is the expense. Everything is so expensive. Like no matter how much you make in New York, you're still going to be thinking about your wallet. every time you go out, you spend a minimum of $25 if you don't go to like these very cheap places. If you go out at night, you're spending a lot. If you're renting, you're spending a lot. Your finances, you're never like, okay, I can get comfortable right now. I'm making some money. It's just always on your mind. The expenses, it's just too high, you know? You're just never comfortable when it comes to money in New York. And then another issue is apartments. You're gonna have to have a roommate, and sometimes you're gonna want to go to the bathroom right when you have a roommate, and it's like somebody got one bathroom, somebody's in the bathroom, you're waiting, you're like, oh my god, I gotta. And then the guy gets out, your roommate gets out, and then you have to go in, and then you're like, oh my god, you gotta have to deal with that smell, man. That is something I never want to deal with again. Like, even if I get married, I'm gonna make sure that my wife has her own bathroom, and I have my own bathroom. I think that's critical to a successful relationship. I never want to smell another person's poop in the bathroom. You start to get really angry. I can't speak for you, but this is me. When I'm in the bathroom and I'm smelling somebody's poop there, I'm just like, I can't believe I'm going through this. My rage starts to get too high. Another con is the subway. Now, I talked very good about the subway. What happened? Dude, sometimes you just don't want to be in the subway. Sometimes you want to be alone in your space, and you're forced to go into this crowd. Like, if you go to work in the morning, you're going to be right up against a person in front of you, to the left of you, right of you, and then to the back of you. Sometimes you get guys' cocks rubbing against your leg. That's something I never want to experience again. So, yeah, and other times it's so crowded, somebody farts, and you're just like, oh my god. Oh. First time you go there, and it's funny, but then the second time you smell a fart, third time you smell a fart, fourth time you smell a fart, and you're just like, oh, you start covering your nose, sending people signals like, I know one of you farted. Oh god, it's you. You just start getting sick of the subway system. You just start wanting to be alone. Sometimes you see rats, by the way, in the subway system, but that's all right. I didn't sit on the chairs, so I was fine with that. I'm like, okay, I'll just stand. It'll take me where I want to go, and I'll be fine. But I got so sick of people so close to me that I was like, oh, I used to hate driving before, but then when I left New York, I'm like, oh my god, this is so amazing. I fucking love driving. Look at this. I have so much space. I can move my hand. I can relax without noise, without somebody's breath on my neck. It just made me appreciate driving. Like, I used to hate driving so much before I went to New York, and now I like it. The fourth con is related to dating. Like, yeah, you get to meet a lot of people. Yeah, you get to go on a lot of dates with a lot of girls or a lot of guys. But the problem is they all leave. Like, you start dating this girl from South America, and they're there for a month. You start to date some other girl, and she's there for like a student exchange program. They all leave. Others are tourists. So you're never able to maintain a relationship with somebody. It's just like this temporary fling. And it seems like it's just like understood there. This is not going to be a long-term relationship. And if that's cool with you, if that's what you want, then that's good. If you just want to date and have fun and you're young, you're not looking for a serious relationship, that's cool. It just sucks when you meet a person you like, and then you're dating them, and then they go to their original country or original state. So that part of dating, there's advantages in dating in New York, and there's disadvantages. And that's the main disadvantage, is that it's going to be short term. It's most likely. And the last con I want to talk about is the time. Everything, this could be a good thing depending on who you are, but everything in New York is 3x. You know how you click on a YouTube video and you click 1.5x the speed, 2 times the speed? In New York, everything is 2x. Time is flying without you recognizing it. Like, days will go by, weeks will go by. A week feels like a day there. I'm telling you right now. Like, the time I was in New York, I was there for a year. It feels like a month and a half max. Time flies like crazy in New York. Maybe it's because you're having a blast. I don't know what it is, but time just moves so fast in New York. These are the pros and cons of living in New York. Overall, I love New York. Anyways, that was it. I hope you found this video valuable somehow. Maybe you're thinking about going to New York. I recommend you go, by the way. If I was giving advice to my old self, I would tell him, yo, go to New York, experience it, get it out of your system. Consider subscribing. All right. Thank you for watching. Peace out.